Unless you've been living under a rock lately, you've probably heard of this little-known film. This film that clearly not a lot of people have even heard of because of how little money it made at the box office. Of course, we're talking about Joker Folie à Deux, the brand new movie from Todd Phillips, the sequel to 2019's Joker. I have made a bunch of videos on this movie already, just kind of talking about how it is easily the most disappointing movie of the year and an absolute disaster of cataclysmic proportions. But for this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about why the film was so disappointing and why I think a Joker sequel to that 2019 movie could work, because I was one of those people that got egg on their head from this film. And what I mean by egg on my head is because for years and years I have been telling anybody that would listen that Joker 2019 could use a sequel. It is a movie that felt like it could be the start of a trilogy. It felt like there was more story to be told with that character, not just because it's a comic book character, but I just felt like it was so vigorating and there was so much open-endedness with that story that you could see more in the future. You could see that version of the Joker in the future interacting with other larger DC characters, and to leave that untold, for me at least, would be a little bit disappointing. So when they announced a Joker sequel, I was so excited, believing that we would be getting just that. Unfortunately, it's not what we got, but potato. I want to talk about what I kind of would have done with a Joker sequel, what my expectations actually were, and why what we actually got fell so short of that. And before I get started, I do want to say there are going to be spoilers for Joker Folie à Deux and Joker 2019, so if you've not seen either one of those movies, you're welcome for not seeing the second one. Don't see it, you don't have to, and nobody seems to be seeing it, so that's okay. But I don't know, if you don't want to be spoiled, click off. When they announced Joker Folie à Deux would be a sequel starring Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn and would be a musical, I got so giddy and so excited because I thought, wow, yes, a sequel to Joker 2019, a movie that I love, and this is going to be so incredibly different than that first movie. It is not going to be a King of Comedy spoof. It is going to be a brand new thing, a love story between Joker and Harley Quinn. This felt like the direction to take if you were going to make a Joker sequel, which yet again, I thought they should do. I actually thought they should make a trilogy. I believe that if you were going to do a sequel for that movie, it needed to be a very large departure from that first movie. Not just in tone, not just in character, but in overall story. I thought the first thing they had to do was displace the entire thing away from that first movie. I didn't even think the first movie should be referenced in the second movie. One of the things that made that first movie work so well is the fact that there's an ambiguity to it. The Joker is an unreliable narrator. You don't know if what you're watching is what's actually happening, which was the first sign of the entire film that Todd Phillips actually understood the comic books, because as you know, Joker does not have a set-in-stone origin story. There's ideas, we've gotten stuff in The Killing Joke and different things that kind of, point to, well, this is probably where he came from, but there is no definitive origin of the Joker. There's a mystery to him that is left open-ended in the comic books and all of media that is kind of, once you break that, it almost ruins the character. And Joker 19 was able to tell an origin for the character without breaking that. It kind of kept the best of both worlds. It gave you more complexity with his origin, but at the same time, it left it ambiguous enough that you didn't really know if what you watched was actually an origin for the Joker. So for a sequel, my thought would be to continue that ambiguity, to keep it going, and the best way to do it is to set a sequel, say, a decade after the first movie. Set it far after, in a different time period, still before Batman, and just don't reference the first movie. So we would catch up with Arthur Fleck, who is now a fully fledged Joker, whether he's in Arkham or he's somewhere else, as he meets Harley Quinn, and they can have some weird, large, romantic, musical story of madness. A colorful, bright, vibrant, explosive movie of crime and chaos, and you could tell a La La Land in the DC universe. That is the movie that I thought we were going to get. And just saying it now and speaking it on camera, I can't believe that that is not the direction that they went. Instead, we had a director that maybe somebody gave him a note, like, we want the sequel to be a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, and he said, fine, I'll put Harley Quinn in the movie, but it's not really going to be about her or anything around that character. She's just going to be there. Instead, he made a movie that was just a hateful sort of criticism of the first movie. A movie that said, if you enjoyed my first movie, you're a fool. You shouldn't have liked it, and all the things that were good about it, I'm going to rip them apart in the second movie, and everybody's going to be unhappy, and yeah, deal with it. And it's so damn disappointing, because yet again, the potential was there. The potential to do a great Joker sequel that could have been so explosively different than the first movie, but still have the core character of the Joker, of Arthur Fleck as Joaquin Phoenix. The fact that they kind of wasted that potential on such a mediocre film, such a disaster of a story, is so remarkably disappointing. And I did say trilogy. I always had this base idea that maybe a third movie, you could bring in Batman. I always thought the best chance we would ever have of getting to see a live-action Killing Joke film would be through this version of the Joker. My whole idea when I would get drunk at parties around friends and I would kind of discuss Joker 2019 was, well, you get this first movie, then the second movie, maybe you introduce him to the larger Gotham, you see him sort of get involved in the crime scene, introduce some other DC characters, and then the third movie would be The Killing Joke, a Batman movie from the Joker's perspective, where the Batman is not in much of the movie. It is a Joker movie. It is a Killing Joke movie from the Joker's perspective. I thought that was the perfect way to handle this world and this story, where fans would be satisfied, the movies would make money, and you wouldn't be sitting there like, God dang it, how did they make a sequel to that 2019 movie that did not need a sequel? And the reason something like that is not going to happen and never going to happen is because we had a director and a writer that clearly did not give a shit about the comic books. He did not give a shit about the characters he was writing about. He just cared about his own weird vision and his own weird opinion on his own film. So, yeah, that's why we get what we get. And, yeah, you get what you fucking deserve. I can't believe I'm sorry. But as you see, Joker 2 is completely bombing at the box office. That new Terrifier movie, I haven't seen any of them, so no review on this channel, sorry. But that film about, like, a murderer clown, it beat out Joker at the box office. So, yeah. Yet again, you get what you fucking deserve. Don't make bad movies on purpose, and maybe you won't bomb. But I guess Todd Phillips made like $100 million on the first one, so he's fine. Just such a shame, such a disappointment. Probably the last video I'm going to be making on this movie until my end of year list, when I make my top 10 worst movies of the year. Bet your ass this movie's going to be on there. Will it be number one? Maybe. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for more 10 notifications. I'll see you in the next one.